Money 2020 hosts various events around the world each year, including Money 2020 Europe and Amsterdam in early June. Ahead of the 2026 event, Money 2020 highlighted a call for content initiative earlier this year. While applications are closed, Ashley Mastronardi spoke with Oliver Smith, Europe's head of content for Money 2020, and more about the campaign back in November. Let's take a look.
So we're looking for innovators, disruptors. We're looking for CEOs, yes, but we're also looking for the builders, the ones that are making a difference, regulators, founders. We have a really wide spectrum of speakers. We have about 450 at the event. So it's a big search, but the search is very much on.
What are the session offerings and what type of topics are you looking to fill in those sessions?
Yeah, so we have a range of topics that we're looking for. We have 4 content pillars, and those are really the anchors of the event. We spent the summer talking to executives across the European sector to find out what topics and themes they were looking into. And there were 4 that we came up with. So the first one is AI and the agentic age. So that's really looking at agentic finance and the practical real-world use cases that are starting to come through. The second pillar is the great rebundling. So if we think about the first generation of fintech was about breaking up the bank, the great rebundling is about pulling the bank back together and growing. We see financial services companies launching stable coins, launching crypto exchanges. There's this real coming together of the industry. The third pillar is money stack rewired. That's looking at stable coins, but it's also looking at the whole technology stack of the bank. So privacy, fraud, cybersecurity, all of those pieces of the puzzle. And then the fourth pillar is regulation in the fast lane. And that's looking at the speed of change that's happening in the regulatory landscape. So in Europe, we've got these whole new packages of rules coming down the line. We want to understand what's happening there and how companies are adapting to them.
All right. And I know you just touched on this in your last answer, Oliver, but how has the conversation changed from previous years? I'm sure now that AI is really ramping up, there's all kinds of new conversations happening.
So I think 2026 is feeling like a bit of a reset. I think AI is maturing. I think it's becoming a real world tangible. We're seeing features come forward now. We're also seeing the funding landscape in Europe is starting to stabilize, which is giving startups, I think, a bit more certainty. So I'm seeing 2026 as a bit of a reset year as we move away from hype and into kind of fundamentals.
All right. Yeah. Hype versus reality is something that I speak with a lot of people about, especially at these conferences. How are you going to look for substantive content in these submissions?
Yeah. It's a great question. One of the things that we're doing is we're actually launching a new stage in Europe next year called Money Lab. And that's our opportunity to have those more substantive conversations where we'll have longer form content. We'll dig into the details. It'll be a learning environment where execs can teach and explore topics rather than just having maybe higher level conversations. So we're doing that through our stages. And through the call for content, we're looking for content that does go, that digs into the topics at a slightly deeper level.